the Twitch TV. Give me a second here. Got to do some double checks here real quick because unfortunately we've had some more of those gremlins popping up. So if I'm right, we probably should have no problem here. But let's just make certain of that. Okay, so far so good. Looks like audio is not a problem for tonight, thankfully. Had enough of those gremlins for a while. It is Monday, the last Monday of the month, the penultimate day of the month for that matter. And looking penultimate is just one of my favorite words. I get to use it so few times. This is Weather Overtime for Monday, the 30th of October. October always goes so doggone fast. It was such a nice month this time around, just a little bit too warm at times, but otherwise not bad. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek from WDEF News 12 in downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee. And again, for tonight, so far so good. We've got a little bit of showers out there, but we also have more cold air on the way, and that's really going to affect our weather into the next couple of days. It's also very dry, even though we have some showers left over. We are going to be seeing the potential for some, fairly dry conditions coming up in the near future, and that means we could see some very high amounts of wildfire coming our way. We'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little bit. We'll talk about our West Shore Home weather window picture of the day coming up here in just a little bit. So, officially today, according to the report here, and I've refreshed this many times just to make certain, we did manage to wind up with a couple hundredths, thousandths of an inch almost. So it's a good possibility that unless we get some more here in the next hour and a half, right before about midnight into Tuesday the 31st, we actually officially received no rainfall whatsoever today. So again, we might have gotten some drips and drizzles around town, but at the airport, at Chattanooga Airport, where the official recording station is, we got absolutely nothing, which means that if we don't get anything again in the next couple of hours, this will go down as one of the driest months on record for the month of October in this area of the country. So we are now 6 2/3 inches behind. We need that rainfall to get us out of the situation we're in with a drought. Likewise on wildfires, we'll talk more about that in just a little bit. High temperature was set about 10:30 this morning of about 76 degrees. And that was, again, early this morning, right as the front decided to slide on through. So we went from about 75, 76 at about 10:30 to about 66 at about around noon or so, if I recall correctly, and then slow slide on downwards on the temperatures from there on out. So we're basically at our low temperature of the day pretty much right now. But we started off on quite a warm note out there and just above normal there, still above normal in the temperatures for the lows. We've got some other cool weather coming our direction in the next several days. We'll talk about that. Titan radar at the close to the 10 o'clock Eastern hour. We have, again, some areas of showers out there. Let me refine this view by just a little bit so we get rid of that blob around the high top area and then save that. What we have left over is, again, some areas of light showers east of 75 and Chattanooga, and those are falling apart as we speak over toward Knoxville. A little bit more activity back up toward Johnson City, and that again heading on over into Virginia and extreme northwestern North Carolina. South of this area, we picked up a few more scattered showers here. Most of these are going to be avoiding the area to our south, so Jackson, Montgomery, Meridian, Mississippi might pick up a few of those, but it looks like not much of anything is going to be heading up our direction. So unless something changes in the next couple of hours, that's it for the chances of rainfall until about a week from now. So that's what we're looking at where it comes to the chances of rain across the area. Now, temperatures out there have taken again a slide, but we are still one of the warmest temperatures in the region. 30s and low 40s back toward Middle Tennessee, Central Kentucky, and back into the Wabash, Ohio, and mid Mississippi valleys back in the mid to upper 30s. So a big burst of cool air coming down this direction, but also very much on the dry side. If you didn't see the drought monitor update, this happens every Thursday to where we get an update as to what the situation is. And last week or so, the last 2 weeks, we were going from moderate to severe. We had a very tiny severe drought situation over parts of the area, and last week we went from severe to extreme. So we are really lacking for moisture at this time, as we showed you on the almanac. Half a foot plus behind on rainfall. That is desperately dry, and we need more rainfall to avoid this becoming a very dangerous wildfire season into the rest of autumn. But unfortunately, doesn't look like that's really going to be occurring, a relief occurring anytime soon. Now, we did not have that much in the way of wildfires today. Why is that? Because that front moved on through. So behind the front, with just a little bit of rain, there was enough to kind of quash the wildfire development. But in front of that front, several new spot fires from around Virginia to the Florida Panhandle popped up. Good possibility we'll start to see more back behind this area as we go into the next couple of days. So we'll be looking for more potential of wildfires coming our direction out there. So keep it tuned to News 12. No help from the tropics either on this situation. So it would be nice, but that's not going to be happening. We do have a fire weather watch being posted from the National Weather Service offices in Huntsville for northeastern Alabama and also for northwestern Georgia, in and around the area of the News 12 viewing area, because we have, again, the potential for higher fire danger there. A fire weather watch is now in effect from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern for low relative humidity and gusty winds in northwest Georgia and northeast Alabama. Winds gusting northwest 10 to 15, 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts over those sustained winds. Humidity values could drop to 20 to 30% during the day, and that combo could be the potential of a good wildfire risk here. It means that high potential, fire weather watch means, again, from the National Weather Service, that there is high potential for the development of critical wildfire conditions in the next 12 to 96 hours. Burning outdoors is discouraged. It may be banned in your particular location. If it is, you need to check with your fire officials, even if you have a burn permit, whether or not this is a good time to do any burning. Not the best time to do anything like that at this time. This is in effect, again, until 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Tuesday evening. Again, that's Eastern time there. And in DeKalb and Jackson counties in Alabama, this is in effect from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Central time for all of northern Alabama, but also for DeKalb and Jackson counties in the News 12 viewing area. Again, this is going to be seeing some very good conditions for wildfires to spark, catch, and go quickly. And this could be a threat to life and property almost as much as a severe thunderstorm could be. So a complete and total opposite of the situation to where we would not see anything in the way of hail or heavy flooding rainfall. But if structures are close enough and it's dry enough around a particular property, structures can catch on fire very quickly, and that is a threat to life and property. So something to think about there. Now, north of the Tennessee line, we are covered here in the News 12 viewing area by National Weather Service Nashville and Morristown. They have not chosen to issue anything at this time, maybe because there was just enough rainfall to push back the fire danger. They have not said anything at this time about a new fire weather watch or anything else. They are urging caution in their latest special weather statements, but they are not showing anything in the way of major problems. So there is some good news on that. Either way, if you're going to be, again, anything with fire or flame, welding, outdoor barbecue, you're planning on burning off agricultural stubble or yard waste and things like that, not a good idea to do that. We've had enough burning in the atmosphere on the planet to begin with. So if you can find a recyclable way of doing that, that would be the best way of handling any yard waste. Burning it is just going to add to more problems in the atmosphere and cause an increased threat of more climate change taking place because of that extra burning. No, that's not a rumor. No, that's not my opinion. That's scientific fact. So for right now, that's something that, again, needs to be taken into consideration. And this is not good news. The dark red counties farther south, those are red flag fire warnings, which, again, are higher up than just a plain fire watch. That means, again, that we could see some very quick movement of any wildfires out there. Outdoor burning not recommended, and that critical fire conditions could occur now, will occur shortly, or are imminent because of dry humidity values and a lot more in the way of, again, low humidity. So this is something to really consider at this point, which means that burning anything outdoors would be a critically wrong mistake. So please keep that in mind. Now, what are we looking for as we go into the next couple of days? We are going to be seeing, again, the potential for some very dry weather sticking around as this front has finally moved through. The clouds even are on their way out of the picture, so we're just not picking up too much out there in the way of problems. Now, this storm system back to the north of us is going to actually give us, this is an Alberta clipper coming through, and this one will drop a new cold front our direction. This cold front here is going to be working its way south, so that's going to cool us off even more than this cold front did, and that's going to be arriving as we go into tomorrow morning, and that's going to help with that dry air coming in. Clouds, yes. Moisture, no. But that's going to help the temperatures to drop even farther than what they were with just this one cold front coming on through. So what does that mean? In the course of the next couple of days, watch the temperatures as we go into tomorrow morning. With the cloud cover, it's not going to be that low. The drier burst of air will be coming through to get us the potential of some colder numbers, but low temperatures tomorrow morning in the upper 30s to lower 40s, so not expecting frost there. Upper 50s for highs Tuesday afternoon, and then we go into Wednesday morning without that blanket of cloud cover out there. The heat of the day just radiates away from the ground. That means the temperatures are going to sink very quickly as we go into Wednesday morning, and that means this could be a killing frost for the area, which means the growing season for the area would technically be over with in about the next 36 hours. So if you have plants, stay tuned. We'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little bit. Either way, very chilly, below freezing for Wednesday morning. And then we go into a very chilly Wednesday afternoon, lower to mid 50s for highs at best, even colder conditions back along the Blue Ridge and into parts of the Appalachians. And then we could easily drop again into the mid 20s by early Thursday morning. So we are seeing the potential of some much colder weather, unseasonably cold, way below normal on temperatures for now. But the big thing is, once again, if you have plants outside, now's the time to make certain that they are covered up or brought inside. I've got 2 avocado trees and an orange tree sitting on my patio, so I've got to get that taken care of. From New York and Rhode Island and Connecticut all the way down to Texas and New Mexico, we have freeze watches and freeze warnings in effect. So we do have the potential for frost around here. Again, not tonight, but Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. The blue is the freeze watch. That is the less likely potential of widespread frost. The purple is the freeze warning with temperatures well below freezing. This is where the frost will be most numerous, and that is mainly west of Chattanooga and Hamilton County. So Grundy County, Tennessee, northeast parts of Alabama, that's going to be the best potential. Cumberland Plateau, northern Alabama, good potential of seeing some frost well scattered across that area. So please keep that in mind. If you have plants outdoors, now's the time to either plan to get them in or cover them up before that hard temperature drop happens. Now, most of these areas, especially in the cities, probably will not see temperatures much below freezing, but some patchy frost may be possible. This is where the frost will be more widespread. So again, a killing frost is what we're expecting with those numbers that we just saw, and that could be the potential problems out there as we get into the next couple of days. So please keep that in mind if you have any growies out there that you would like to protect, just to be on the safe side there. Here's what it's looking like on the numbers. Again, through tomorrow, we've got some temperatures quite mild. back in the mid to upper 50s earlier during the day. Halloween night, that again is something we're going to have to watch. We'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little while. We will be going back to normal on temperatures, which is about 70 degrees for this time of the year. We'll get back into some very mild numbers toward next weekend, the first weekend of November. Next best chance of anything involving rainfall over a week away. I would not be surprised if the drought monitor situation got even worse. Again, wildfire danger will be increasing as we go throughout the course of the next couple of days. And again, that wildfire threat out there is really something to be concerned about, so definitely time to be on our toes about that. It will be breezy tomorrow and on Wednesday, gusts of 20 to 25 miles per hour possible. Not enough for a wind advisory, which again is about 40 miles per hour, and we're going to be about 20 to 25 miles per hour, somewhere in there. But we'll be choppy, though. Winds coming out of the north means east-west travel. May find things a little choppy out there for right now. So windy and cool out across the area, even cooler as we go toward midweek. We will bounce back, but we've got some chilly numbers coming our direction as we get into the next couple of days. Bishop Bob Midget, thanks for checking in on Facebook. Definitely starting to feel like fall, no question about that. I'm all for it because of the fact that we get rid of some of the pollen out there. Ragweed is my nemesis this time of the year. But again, it is definitely starting to feel more like fall should be, even though we're going to be well below normal on the temperatures into the next couple of days. All right, for the ghosts and goblins out there, we told you last week that the chances of rain were going to be a Monday thing, and that looks to be panning out, so some good news on that. We should be looking at mostly clear skies by the time we hit sunset tomorrow, so hopefully a good sunset on Halloween. But about the time the trick-or-treaters are gearing up, the porch lights come on and the flashlights are out. Remember, a lot of foot traffic tomorrow, so if you're driving around any place, keep an eye out for any little ghosts and goblins darting out in front of the cars or between the cars out there. Time to use some maximum caution when you are driving just to be on the safe side. And again, parents, keep an eye, guardians, whoever's out there with the kids, please keep a very sharp eye with what's going on for safety's sake. Now, for tomorrow, neat thing about, especially I always love the Darth Vader costume because you could always wear a lot of layers underneath it and that cape covered over everything so you didn't look like you were wearing anything but the costume. But a lot of other costumes don't have that, but it is going to be chilly enough tomorrow, especially by about the time trick-or-treating is in mid-swing into about just after sunset and through about, say, 7 to 8 o'clock. Temperatures will be dropping off, not exactly all that quickly, but combine lower 50s with a very healthy northwesterly breeze, and the moms and dads and guardians and aunts and uncles and whoever else is going out with the kids, you're going to need to bundle up in these conditions. It's not going to be shirt sleeve weather this time around. Saw some very warm Halloweens back in Memphis. Still remember, I think it was 2009 or 2010, where the temperature at trick-or-treating time was something like 84, and the humidity was like 70%, somewhere in there. It was just stifling and not my favorite Halloween weather, unfortunately. By the time everything finishes up and the kids are flossing their teeth and hopefully not vibrating too much as they hop into bed, end of trick-or-treating time, we should be back in the upper 40s. So get set again for some very windy conditions out there. Not exactly too gusty overall, but it could be, again, the potential of looking at some breezy conditions. So mom and dad, gloves, hat, maybe even a scarf would not be a bad idea to have with you tomorrow, because that's what we're going to be looking at for right now. As the kids head out for Halloween tomorrow, it is going to be, again, brisk, back in the lower 40s on the greater Chattanooga orthodontics. Now keep in mind, this is Tuesday, not Wednesday. Going to school on Wednesday. Remember, if you take your haul with you to school, the teachers get an automatic 10% tax of candy from your stash. That's only fair. It's the best way to make certain your teachers know that they are appreciated. Time to share the loot. Temperatures by the time you head home, cool and windy, but at least it will be dry. And temperatures, again, back into the mid to upper 50s or so. Taking a look at the temperatures from, well, it was the last couple of hours. We hit the high temperature about 10 o'clock this morning. I think I got up the wrong graphic here, so apologies for that. Let me go ahead and get back into the tropics real quick. We do have a couple of systems to talk about, one off of the Bahamas, and that one, it looks like, is not going to be doing too much of anything in the way of problems. We do have a 10% chance of that forming. This one has now gone from 60 to 70%. So this one heading into the Caribbean might become the, I believe, the T name. Well, so we've already had Tammy, so that would be the V name storm. That would be Victor, if I'm not mistaken. Vince, sorry, yes, Vince. And then Whitney would be the W storm. So we have two storm names left, Vince and Whitney. That's it, and we have a month and a day until hurricane season is over with. So hopefully this is it, but unfortunately we may see more storms forming in the course of the next couple of days. We'll see what happens with these, so stay tuned for more. If this becomes Vince, that'll leave us with Whitney. That doesn't look like it's going to become Whitney, and so far there is nothing else forming all the way out into the Atlantic, so that's very good news as well. We could use a leftover tropical storm to dump some rainfall over the area, but we are just not seeing that at this point. And again, this is from what I was talking about earlier. Average rainfall out there, again, we are 3.18 behind for the year to date. And so far to date, as of tonight, we picked up 29 hundredths of an inch. You got to go back to 2016 for the driest October on record, 4 hundredths of an inch in the entire month, and that was 3.5 inches below normal. That's number one. We are currently tied with 1891 in Chattanooga for the 6th driest October ever. So we are in the top 10, and we need a lot more to get out of this particular drought situation. That's not going to be happening tonight from what it looks like. So that's the records that we're looking at for right now, and that goes back to just about the late 1800s as what we see again for the amount of records being kept out there. So this is very, very dry conditions across the entire area. Very dry on our West Shore home weather window picture of the day. Nice grassy field, and that's exactly what News 12 Chief Engineer Rick McLean has given to us, with about 40 or 50 elk grazing and enjoying the sunshine out there. This is from the, and I hope I'm saying this correctly, the Okonalufty Visitor Center. Thought we had interesting names back in Kansas. From Cherokee, North Carolina. Thank you very much, Mr. McLean, for our West Shore home weather window picture of the day. Just 40 or 50 of your closest antlered friends hanging around and enjoying the late season sunshine. If you've got pictures out there, send them in to us. We'd love to be able to see them and show them for everybody else. Go ahead and drop them to us on our Facebook, X, or Instagram pages, or just email them to us at pictures@wdef.com for more information. I think this was the clearest day we have seen since I've been here on air quality. Single-digit pollution markers. That's incredible. That's very good air quality. This is about as clear as it gets for this particular area. Very nice to be able to see that. If we get enough wildfires to pump up some smoke, that might be something that we pick up in the course of the next several days. But again, for right now, doesn't really appear to be anything more than that. Bat Week, International Bat Week, I think, comes to an end tomorrow, and the National Park Service, big leader in bat conservation efforts, especially dealing with what you might have heard called as white nose syndrome. It's bats protect us. The more bats we have in the sky, the more bats can eat more mosquitoes and therefore keep us healthy from things like West Nile virus by removing those little blood-sucking insects from flying around. A single little brown bat about the size of your thumb and wingspan, again, about $1 bill on each side on there. One little brown bat can eat 1,000 mosquitoes per hour. Put up a bat box in a public park and attract more bats in there, and that means you don't have to worry about pesticides, you don't have to worry about insect repellent, you have to worry less about disease like West Nile virus and stuff like that. So help protect the bats. They're not ugly. There's no such thing as an ugly animal. And again, our opportunity to practice conservation in a natural method rather than using harsh chemicals. So something to think about to help preserve the planet and help us humans out by protecting some of our favorite winged crusaders of the skies out there. Barnard Astronomical Society next week Saturday, not this week but week after, on Veterans Day, 5:30 to 10 p.m. They'll be holding their Harrison Bay Star Party at Harrison Bay State Park Recreation Hall parking lot with their telescopes. That's weather permitting. So again, we don't know until we get right up close to that time frame. So we'll let you know more about that when we know it. If you'd like to program your weather radio before the next severe weather event hits, please go to our website, wdef.com/weather. We have a short video there that can let you know more about how to program it. And again, for counselors and teachers who would like to have us appear in your classroom at your school, please let us know. Go to the Food City Weather in the Classroom program at wdef.com/weather. Would love to appear, but again, you have to invite us to make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. We just don't show up. That's kind of rude and a little creepy, to be honest, so we do not do anything like that. So give us a buzz on the Food City Weather in the Classroom program, and we'd be glad to come to your school and talk weather to your particular classes out there. Think that should do it for tonight. Again, please use caution out there, the trick-or-treaters for tomorrow. This will be the last time that we are talking about this before we hit Halloween. So once again, watch out for the trick-or-treaters. If you are driving, slow it down, especially in the residential neighborhoods. Let's all be careful out there. And again, remember to bundle up because tomorrow is going to be a chilly one. So let's make certain that we're all prepared for what looks to be a very cool and breezy Halloween coming our direction. Think that should do it for tonight. Again, this is the last Monday of the month, second to last day of the month. Halloween is tomorrow. We'll have more coming up late Halloween evening when you're back for trick-or-treating as we take a look into November. And we'll also have that look ahead into next weekend to see what we may be looking at in the way for outdoor activities. Plenty of sunshine, but no rain. That means very dry and very high fire danger out there for the near future. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. This has been Weather Overtime from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee, United States, Earth, Milky Way. Again, please look us up for more information at wdef.com/weather. And again, we'll have more on the evening show tonight, News 12 at 11 Eastern Time, and Kay Blevins and Chip Chapman will have your news and weather tomorrow morning starting at 5 a.m. on the last day of the month, Halloween. Find out more. Again, you can watch live as well at wdef.com. Tune in for that there. Stay tuned for more with News 12 on air and online. Thanks for joining us for Monday, October 30th on Weather Overtime.